You are listening to the Success Diaries podcast. I'm your hostess, Bree Seeley, a creative growth strategist and top entrepreneur coach on Google. The Success Diaries is your invitation to do success on your own terms. Every episode features interviews with entrepreneurs and change makers around the world living their success on their terms. Jessica Geist is the CEO of Worth to Wealth and the creator of the Subconscious Harmonics Method. By combining the power of conscious and subconscious rewiring, she has helped hundreds of people break through limiting beliefs, stop sabotaging themselves, and create thriving businesses and lives they love. Her clients range from multimillionaires and Fortune 100 executives to established entrepreneurs and new founders who are just starting out. Jess has taught and coached at the world's top universities such as Northwestern University, Stanford, and University of Chicago. She has a master's in learning and change, a bachelor's in psychology, and is a licensed rapid transformational therapist and trained transformational coach specializing in emotional healing, belief reprogramming, and leadership development.
Hey, Success Diaries listener, Bree Seeley back again, as always, with someone who's incredible. So Jess, little known fact, was my coach 2 years ago. And she is, working with her was totally what has gotten me to where I am right now in my life and my business. And I just love her and respect her so much. And then she and I came together with Shannon to create this Trinity Activation Power Summit that we are launching next week. And so I wanted to have her on because she's brilliant. And I wanted you to hear her perspective of success. So hello.
Hi, Bree. Thank you so much for those kind words. It's so wonderful to be here with you and all your listeners too. And I'm looking forward to sharing this. And I'm so looking forward to the summit too. It's beautiful to see how our relationship has grown. And it really excites me. It makes me feel happy.
I just got goosebumps. All right. Well, we kick off the show with you sharing with all the listeners exactly what your definition of success is. So why don't you lead us off?
I've been thinking about this since you asked me the question. And I think that there are conventional perspectives and views on what success is and what it isn't. And in many cases, it's about how much money you make or how much influence you have or how much of an impact you're making on the world or how many things you own or children you have or how good you look or how fit you are. I really believe that for me, the definition of success is building a life on your terms and feeling a deep sense of alignment and satisfaction in that. I know perhaps it sounds cliche or trite, but I don't think that there is a one size fits all definition of success. I think that it's relative to the individual. So to create a life that is, quote, successful means really to know yourself and to understand what it is that you envision for your life, a life that is joyful, meaningful, purposeful to you. Not everybody has the same vision of that. And I think that for me, it's taken me personally in my journey a long time. And I'm still constantly exploring what success means to me and what it looks like to me, because it's easy to fall into other people's perspectives and to compare and to judge your progress or your place in life and space and time to what society or your family or your friends or your community tells you that is right or good in terms of success and what that should look like. So I think it's an unfolding process too, because as I change and as we change as individuals, that definition also is constantly shifting as well. And I think that, so for me, success is ever unfolding and what that looks like is ever changing.
Yeah, I love that. And You literally, I mean, those are some of the exact same words that I use as well, right? Like, I don't believe in a one size fits all approach to anything. Clothes, business, life, like nothing is one size fits all. And yet, so many of us try to force ourselves into this one size fits all mold, and it just doesn't work. So it's interesting. I was sitting here thinking, like, when did Jess and I first meet? And we met in 2016, like literally 4 years ago, like right now. It was like April 2016. And so your life looked radically different. I've seen both of us, our lives have unfolded so much in the last 4 years. So how did you, like, what was it that really helped you get from that point when we met to you left LA, you traveled the world, you expanded your business. I mean, you've done so much. What has really been the thing that's helped you get to where you are right now?
For me, the big turning point, there were like really two big pieces. But if I could summarize it in one nutshell, it's doing the deeper inner work and ultimately creating a harmony between my conscious and my subconscious mind. And there are there for me, what I realized in my path and my journey is that I had this vision for what success should be, and I was driving towards that. And as I did more of this work to clear the cobwebs of my subconscious programming that was patterned and developed from childhood and from these other systems of belonging that I had been brought into as a young woman, the more I reformatted my hard drive, to be in alignment with this bigger vision and ultimately the truth of who I am coming to know myself to be, um, the easier it was for me to make decisions in my life that were graceful and that got me to this place. And some of those decisions were painful. They required a lot of letting go because it meant letting go and shedding parts of my identity. But ultimately for me, it's that relationship and the ability for me to collaborate with my mind and the ability for me to harness my emotional landscape and my internal world so that I could create the outer world that I really want, that allowed me to get to this place. And that piece, when I discovered rapid transformational therapy and hypnotherapy, and then how I could blend that with coaching in order to transform my own self and then also see that now with my clients, was a game changer. I mean, it's what accelerated my growth at an even faster rate. So yeah, I would say that discovering how to harness the power of my subconscious mind and also to do that deeper inner emotional work and facing those deep wounds and healing them, is what has allowed me to progress to this place now.
And I love that you mentioned the hard drive thing, because I have a lot of people ask me about hypnotherapy and they're like, what is it? And I say a very similar thing where I'm like, your brain is essentially the hard drive of your laptop. And you know how our Mac always pops up with like, you have an update available. Would you like to install it now? Right? Like, we're constantly updating and upgrading our computer operating system. And yet the hard drive that's running us, that's in our brains, is whatever was put in our brains and programmed into our brains when we were born or 2 years old or 6 years old. And we literally, after a certain age, never upgrade our operating system. And so hypnotherapy is totally exactly what I've used. Obviously, with you, Jess was the first one I experienced hypnotherapy with and then got certified thereafter. It's such a powerful way to do that upgrading work so that we're not operating off of like, what was that Mac 1.0 in the 80s that was like the black screen with the like little green dots on it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. I mean, and I find like all modalities, it's best when it's combined, right? So what I've found is that when you do that deeper subconscious work, you still need the conscious element as well, which looks like coaching, spiritual practices, therapy, whatever that flavor is for you, of reading books, that conscious mind still needs to be directed. It needs to be given a place to focus, and you need the two of them to work together. And when I first started the hypnotherapy work, I thought, oh, if I just do the hypnosis, that would be enough. But I learned that it's a yes and, as most things are in life. You know, again, no one size fits all. And I also say no silver bullets. Like, I wish that there was a silver bullet. And I tell people all the time, like, if I could wave my magic hypno wand and make you perfectly everything that you ever wanted, I would be charging billions of dollars. I'd be a billionaire. I'd be chilling on a yacht somewhere. I probably, like, I would have a totally different lifestyle. But the truth of the matter is that it does take your own deep desire to create the transformation and your willingness to do the work in both formats of that subconscious and conscious reality in order to make a change.
What do you feel like has been your biggest subconscious block that really was keeping you from the success that you envisioned for yourself?
Yeah, for me, it was a deep fear that I was unlovable and unwanted and not enough. And so as a result, that manifested in my business a lot and in my relationships too, romantic relationships specifically, like people pleasing. And I really wanted to be liked. I really, really wanted to be liked by everyone. And I had this deep fear of being rejected. And so in my business, it caused me to be a perfectionist, to procrastinate, to avoid, to overthink, to create like extreme anxiety. I would also avoid confrontation. I would avoid being totally, fully authentic. And I played small a lot. In my personal life, it led me to toxic and unhealthy relationships where I became a codependent or an enabler. So this fear of not being wanted and this belief that I was unlovable or not enough was a huge challenge for me. And through the subconscious work now, I've been able to do a great amount of reprogramming around that. Now the belief still comes up, it still shows up, especially when I get triggered. Mostly now in my relationships, I'm happy to say my business used to be the primary place where I felt that, but because I've done so much work and I've learned so much about how to, really empower myself to collaborate with my mind and to build a powerful mindset. My business, I don't get much anxiety at all anymore. The main place I see it now is in my personal life, which is still in my romantic relationships, which is where I still have that work to do, and I'm still doing that work. But yeah, that's been the big one for me, and that's what I see with my clients mostly as well, is that fear that they're not enough, and that fear that if they put themselves out there, that something dangerous or bad will happen to them, and then as a result, they never step fully forward into their greatness. So for me, that's where I always start with my clients, because that's what I needed to do first within myself. And that's where I've seen the biggest results and where I also see the biggest results for the people I work with.
One thing I love that you mentioned is like the procrastination and the perfectionism and all those things. I have a lot of people come to me and say, "Oh, the problem is that I procrastinate." And I'm always like, "That's not the problem. That's the symptom."
Yep.
The problem is just like what you were saying, that fear of being unlovable or that fear of being rejected. And because you have this fear of rejection, you procrastinate on doing things that may trigger rejection for you. And so I love that you brought that up, because so many people think that these surface level problems are the problem, and they're not the problem, they're a symptom.
Yeah. And one of the things that I studied in my master's degree, which I studied learning and transformation at Northwestern University, and we talked a lot about, at the individual and systemic level, diagnosing the root cause. And that's what I really love to do with my clients, is to help them get to the root cause and reason behind why that symptom or behavior is happening in their life. And then to go beyond that, which traditional therapy a lot of times kind of stops there, and then you learn how to cope with it. But I believe that you can actually heal that and release that. And that's where the hypnotherapeutic work comes in, That's where the embodiment work comes in. That's where the coaching work comes in, and that all of that starts to play a role. But it's like, putting a band-aid on something that is like a gaping wound, and just like putting a little band-aid over the top of it, thinking that that's going to heal it. No, you have to actually treat the wound. You've got to get inside and apply the right balm, and you got to stop exposing it to the same things that cause it pain. Like you've got to figure out what causes that thing to open up over and over and over and over again, so that you can eventually heal it. And that is right. It's all about the root.
I love that. So here's the good news, Success Diary listener. Jess is actually going to be doing a live hypnosis as part of the Activation Trinity Summit that we're kicking off on Monday. So tell us a little bit about what this hypnosis is that you're doing and why someone listening right now should care and want to come join us.
Yeah, so I'm so excited, by the way, for the summit. Like, it's going to be amazing, and collaborating with you and Shannon has been incredible, and it's so powerful. No pun intended. I mean, the whole concept of the summit is about power. So, and we're doing this because we recognize that the times that we're living in right now has been marked by a lot of chaos and uncertainty, and we want to help people thrive and come back to a center of power, and not only do that now, but for the future in a sustainable way. So one of the pillars of power that we've identified is mindset. And what I'm going to be doing in my session is leading a live hypno talk, is what I call it, on creating a powerful mind. And we are going to first help you understand a little bit more about the subconscious mind and how it works. And I'm going to teach you some very basic rules of the mind that you and I learned from our mentor and teacher, Marissa Peer. And then from there, we're going to experience a live hypnosis. And in that live hypnosis, we're going to go back to the scenes and the times in your life where you picked up the belief that you're not powerful and that you're helpless. And we're going to transform and change the meaning that you made about yourself and the world around you as a result of those experiences. And then from there, install new, as I like to call it, thoughtware into your mind, that you are powerful, that you have the ability to create whatever reality that you want, that you are the master designer of your own life, and that you can activate that from within yourself whenever you choose, because it's permanently embedded in you every single day, from the moment you wake up to the moment that you fall asleep, and even in your dreams. And so you'll get to experience this live hypnosis. And for those who have never experienced it before, it's incredibly powerful. The breakthroughs that my clients and that our participants experience are unbelievable. People literally walk away from the experience of the hypno talk just transformed, just deep transformation right there on the spot. And I love watching that and hearing that back from people. And I think that's why so many people continue to show up for these over and over again. And normally I only do these, in partnerships like this, or if people work with me privately or one of my programs. So I'm really excited to be doing this specific one. I haven't done a hypnosis for, creating a powerful mind before. So I've completely crafted something new, and it's really beautiful. And I'm looking forward to seeing what people experience as a result of it.
So I have done I think 4 hypnoses with you.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited for this one as well. I mean, there's a reason I did one hypnosis with Jess and then immediately turned around and was like, I have to get certified in this because it's so powerful. And I love that you call it thoughtware. That is amazing. If you have not yet trademarked that, get on that. Whoa, that is awesome.
Yeah, I should probably trademark that.
So if you're listening right now and this sounds of interest to you, you can go to breeseely.com/Trinity and get signed up for the summit. And the coolest part is what Jess just explained is only day 1. There's an episode coming up with Shannon, our other co-facilitator. She's doing day 2. I'm doing day 3, and then we're doing an integration day on day 4. And the thing that I love most about this summit is that it's actually kind of not really a summit. You think of summits, you sign up, you get a bunch of interviews in your inbox, right? They're all pre-recorded and they're all kind of sterile, no judgment. And this is, you're going to be live with us. They're going to be interactive sessions / workshops. You're literally going to be doing the transformation in real time with us there to guide and support you every single day, every single step of the way in the summit, and then also in the Facebook group as well. So come join us, because holy shit, what we've created is awesome. And we're just in the development stages right now still. Like, we're not even launching until, well, we start on the 11th.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, the 11th.
The 11th.
So it's going to be so good.
It is. I'm so excited about it. And that's one of the things that I'm loving about what we're doing that's different, is that it is live and interactive and experiential. I've spoken on tons of summits, and I know you have too, and so has Shannon, and I love them, and people get a lot of value out of them. And I'm proud to say I've spoken alongside, Lewis Howes and Marissa Peer and all these other big names. But it's, in the end, it's just kind of a talking head. So when we sat down and we thought about like what would actually enable people to step into their power, we thought, well, let's do something different. Let's make this like interactive. Let's make this real time. Let's give people a breakthrough in the room. And then obviously help them figure out how they can do that afterwards. And that leads us to the collaboration we have on the Trinity Activation product, which we'll be sharing more about too on the summit, which I can't wait. The first time I've ever co-created a product offering like this too. So, and it's all been so easeful, and I can't wait for people to experience it, because I think the way that we've created it together is going to influence the way that people experience it. And I'm really, really, really excited.
Yeah, going to be super good. So let's see, other than people obviously joining us for the Activation Trinity and the live hypno talk, any other thoughts around what it takes to really step into the, not one size fits all kind of approach to success?
Yeah. I think that there's a bit of you that has to develop a zero fucks attitude, and which is why I love your whole zero fucks thing, because it's so true. Like, there is a part of you that literally has to say, I don't care what other people think. And to do that means that you have to stand so fully in your own power and your own trust and your own faith in yourself. And depending on your spiritual views, the trust and faith that you have in the universe, or whatever you want to call that, that is an important piece. And for me, that all comes back to believing that you're worthy and believing that you're enough, and getting your mind on board with that belief, so that you can not just think it with your head, but like embody it with your heart, and then move with it in your daily life.
I love that, and totally 100% completely agree. So for anyone wanting to connect more deeply with you, how do people find you?
Sure. There's a few ways. You can visit my website. It's jessicageist.com. And from there, you can learn more about subconscious harmonics, which is the method that I use and work with in my clients, and as well as my Worth to Wealth group coaching program and private work with me as well. I also have a Facebook group called Worthy Women. You can just go online and search Worthy Women on Facebook groups, and it'll come up right there. I have a YouTube channel too that you can go to search Worth to Wealth TV. On YouTube, you can find video content there for me as well. So several ways for us to keep in touch.
And of course, if you go to breeseely.com/Trinity, you will get to join us next week for the 4-day extravaganza, and you will get all sorts of insights from Jess throughout those 4 days. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing your wisdom and your big open heart with everyone.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Brie. I always love being part of whatever it is that you create, and I'm looking forward to serving your listeners.
Wait, don't go yet. I wanted to say a quick thank you for joining me for this episode today. I am so incredibly grateful you are here. 2 last quick things. 1, I want to hear what's in your success diaries. So hop on over to Instagram, come find me at Bree Seeley to share with me what your definition of success is and how you're living that definition this week. Second thing, if you are an entrepreneur and you are looking to build or scale your tailor-made business to monetize your genius, I have a great free course I would love to share with you. You can grab it at breeseeley.com/yes. This course is really going to help you do all of the necessary work to build and scale a business that is aligned with your unapologetic self. Much love to you today and every day. I will see you next week on the Success Diaries, which also reminds me, please be sure to subscribe so that you can get this in your notifications every single week. Bye for now, friends.